Welcome back, everybody, to another cast from our Pick Your Poison AOE2 tournament hosted by Daniela, Komi, and the other guys. Big shout out to them. Make sure to give them some love for running this whole beautiful show for us. Now, today we're looking at the round 2 matchup in Group I between HuakNatria and Phantom. Both these guys we've already casted their round 1 matches. HuakNatria very recently, actually. So let's see how they match up against each other then, shall we? These here are the drafts. So you can see no Arabia, no Arena, so maybe the two most common maps actually are being banned. Therefore, maybe a bit of a more spicy series. Let's see if that actually holds up. Just me speculating for now. However, we've got right here our game 1 already up and ready. So let's dive straight into that. Phantom playing as the yellow Malians against the Grey Britons from HuakNatria. Coincidentally, the two colors that I choose whenever I play AOE2. So, yeah, I feel very much at home with this one. We see both of these guys starting their town center constructions at virtually the same time, but already very interesting. Grey, HuakNatria, has seen the location that Phantom's town center has gone down, and also is very close to the dock that the Malians have just put up. But on the flip side, only one villager putting up that Britain town center for now, whereas the other one over here is still making his way back, and no dock yet at all for HuakNatria, and gonna be way late on that TC, at least comparatively to the Malians there, I suppose. So I'm expecting a little bit of an early economy lead, for the Malian player. Let's see if they can actually spot that sheep. Is there vision of it for Phantom? Oh, there just barely is not. So that's gonna be actually HuakNatria finding the opponent's house and dock as well as that sheep. So he's gonna be very happy with that. Britons, of course, with the faster gathering shepherds. Big bonus, so they want to get as many sheep as possible. And speaking of which, let's look at the actual Civ Boni that we've got here. We see right there that Malian TC has been out for quite a while longer already, and we see that manifest itself in another villager already being out, whereas the Britons just now have started their villager construction, and still no dock for them. That is about to change, I assume. Yep, there we go, dock going up, more so at home, but either way, might be a bit late in getting his eco going there, HuakNatria. So, the Britons bonuses. I've already touched on the faster working shepherds, we know the faster working archery ranges as well. Always good for some early archer regression, getting a lot of those out, and that bonus has, as you can see, been nerfed in the April patch, so now only 10% bonus there. Other than that, of course, the range improvements for the archery line are pretty impressive as the game goes on, and the cheaper town centers are also absolutely great. You save so much wood when going for a boom after your first town center there. It's just gonna be, man, smooth booming usually from there on out. On the other side, we've got the Malians, a Civ that has absolutely exploded in terms of both play and win rate, if I'm not mistaken. Especially if you've been following the King of the Desert tournament, where the qualifiers are actually currently ongoing. You can watch them on Mem's channel, but also on other streamers such as Daniela. So if you're interested in the high elo Arabia gameplay there, make sure to definitely check them out. And you can always return to this cast here in the YouTube WOTS if you're all that curious. I was gonna say the Malians being picked in actually like every single series. You always see Malians being played there. They just have received so much love lately. The gold gathering bonus has been changed, and the 15% higher drop off there for the villagers, absolutely massive. Kinda both combining the effects of a faster gathering bonus with a longer lasting resources bonus. So it doesn't sound like much maybe at first glance, but it is a super impactful bonus. Of course, the Civ still has more to offer. Cheaper wood cost on all buildings. I mean, could you even ask for a better bonus on no matter where you want? You're definitely struggling with food with wood early traditionally, and want to get as many fishing ships out as quickly as possible. And you can really see that difference there. Britain's really struggling here with getting their eco off the ground. Now going into a lumber camp, excuse me, before even getting any fishing ships in the queue, and it's going to be much slower early game here, I assume, for HuakNatria, despite having the only actual early eco bonus, or gathering bonus, I should say. Yeah, that's our Malians here. Hope everybody got that info right. But maybe to point out as well, the extra PS armor for every barracks unit going up by 1 per age. That is really good there. If you get to Castle Age with +2 PS armor on all your barracks units, that could be devastating for the Britons play. Actually, I'm not sure if the Britons are even equipped to deal with a Castle Age longswords play from the Malians here, potentially. I would love to see how that goes down, because traditionally you love archers against infantry, but with gambesons and the extra PS armor that you get from that Civ bonus here as the Malians, man, that is pretty good here. If we can check just real quick if Malians do in fact get gambesons. Okay, they do not, but still they have a really good bonus there. Hey, good to see you in chat, Natria. Yeah, always cool to have new people check out the cast. Yeah, let's see how this one went down. I've got to say, you've definitely got a slower early game here so far. The Malians saving wood on all of their buildings, I think, is mainly what enabled them to get off to a way quicker start on water mainly, and thus the eco difference is really big already. It's going to be way faster fuel age uptime for Phantom here. Let's check out the gathered resources just because. And you can see already 600 difference here. So, man, this is looking for the rough for the Britons already. I'm not even sure that there is much that Natria did wrong here. Maybe should have gone for some fishing ships before putting up the lumber camp. I'm not sure if that would even have been a good idea. Definitely, I guess, I could have tried getting some more fishing ship up before putting the mill, because you could still have just taken the deer maybe, and thus kind of delayed the mill. But either way, I think the Malians were just way better equipped and had their town center up faster as well. Remember, they built their town center with 2 villagers, and they had a villager out before the Britain town center was even finished building. So not surprised that Phantom has gotten off to a way better early start here. Let's see how it plays out though. I'm definitely scared here from the Britons in this one, because I'm still sitting on only barely above 100 food, while the opponent is already about to hit fuel age. Yeah, it's Nomad, man. These games are really tough to calculate, and this is the neutral map, so oftentimes whoever wins this one kind of has a really good position moving forward in the series. Another house goes down for Phantom. I wonder how he's gonna play that. I'm expecting maybe a wash. Yeah, we go the double dock already even. I'm expecting that that water control that they are going to get for free over the Britons. And I was gonna say that the Britons like to have the enemy dock so close so they can pressure them on land, and they are more likely to win the water battle. But not if you're in the they slayed up to feudal age here, of course. Really rough spot to be in, and you gotta wonder now that you know the enemy docks are here and they are in feudal age. What do you do with your fishing economy? You definitely don't make any more fishing ships, that is for sure. As finally, the upclick comes in as well for the Britons. Difficult spot to be in for sure. The house wall, you need to buy some time. I don't hate it. Let's see how Phantom plays it. I'm expecting not a long feudal age here to come out. I think you want to take that momentum into castle age probably, and go from there. Fishing ships, of course, going down here. Nothing to put up against those fire ships from the opponent, who's still scouting around a bit with the fires, trying to see if there's any more water for the Britons, but there most definitely is not. And man, that eco lead combined with the way faster uptime is looking real scary, and no feudal age buildings yet for Phantom. Otherwise, they could already think about clicking up. We see the market come down just now, and with the cheaper wood cost on those buildings, they might just hit castle age here in a few minutes. And man, you hate to see that if you're a Britain's lover. The militia now trying to work on the enemy houses, I guess, or maybe that is an attempt of trying to clean up the enemy water or make their fishing harder. But as it stands, there's not a lot to be gained from this, especially since enemy houses in feudal age, I think, gain extra resistances and yeah, take quite a while to take out. The economy upgrades now coming in for the Britons. They know kind of they're gonna be stuck in feudal age here for a while, apparently. Looks like it's gonna extend a bit that feudal age, whereas the opponent just now getting up to castle age here, or at least getting on the way to castle age. So, man, I'm really struggling to see a way back into this. It's just so far behind already, behind in eco numbers, and the berries are also about to be used up. There's just lacking on so many levels here for HuakNatria in terms of game state. So yeah, I can't say I would have done better here, because man, the opponent just, it's Malians, they've got such a nice start on water. I was so much delayed. I got my town center up so late. It's a rough call here what to necessarily do better. Berries now used up, going over onto farms as much as possible, but yeah, if you look over there at the Malians, they've got the great lumber camp efficiency. They still have some berries left over. Getting those barracks up now. Lots of wood actually floating. I wonder if that is by design, or if they kind of maybe forgot to take a few off wood, because 900 is definitely a bit excessive. Maybe could go for a 2 or 3 barracks play. Instead, it's now the Britons trying to, I guess, maybe put a tower forward, but there's no wood for that as of now, so HuakNatria are going to struggle with actually putting any pressure on the enemy. The demo ship's almost able to take out those fires, just barely not. But that's castle age already in. And what's actually going to transpire here? Let's see. Not sure those villagers actually showed here for a second. But HuakNatria pretty indecisive here. And I would be as well, because really it's a tough choice what you can do here. 4 archers forward. Try to go for a feudal archer play nonetheless, but I mean, the opponent is about to get some castle age units out, so it's going to be difficult to make that work. Tower, yeah, this tower is not going to do much at all. At least the archers are able to hit those villagers a bit here. And no fletching though, so the damage really is limited. Although, maybe one of those could be taken out eventually. Doesn't look like it. In this tower, I'm not a fan of, because it only denies these berries, and there's barely any left. There's 40 wood. 40 food. It literally denies just 40 food. The opponent is not even going to bother cleaning that tower up, I don't think. So at least some damage is done to the enemy housing departments, but yeah, that's about all. And triple TC boom here for the Malians. Actually, they are not breaking any sweats here. Going into knights, interestingly, to try and take out these enemy archers. I feel like just honestly going full infantry is fine already. Although maybe if you can force the opponent to invest into some spearmen, the infantry switch will be that much more powerful. Forward blacksmith for the Britons, okay. Putting some pressure. I'm not sure what the walls are here. Yeah, I'm still not entirely sure what the idea behind these villages is. I mean, I get the initial attempt of the tower rush, but after that, what's actually going on here? We've got the knights now pressuring them off the stable. I guess just trying to wall in the enemy stable to delay that knight production, but you can see 3 knights out already. That's way more than the Britons can handle, I believe. Some spearmen are there, but you can see that fight is taken rather easily with the armor upgrade already being there for Phantom. Man, there's a dream spot to be in. Triple town center. Loads of farms have gone up, although just for now the villager production cannot yet be started. That's gonna change really soon, and that's gonna be a boom that's about to snowball right out of control. As it looks, water completely taken over as well, so the ways back into this for HuakNatria are really very limited, and it is reliant on major mishaps from the opponent. Even the Knight raids now have begun. Man, what a terror to deal with. You need like 3 spearmen to handle one Knight, I guess, at this point. And that's not an investment HuakNatria is currently able to make. Brings 3 of them back as I say that. And is now probably going to get cleaned up on offense. Okay, tries to take out those low HP Knights with the archers, but instead is kind of just getting carried around for now. Oh, that was not a great trade for the Britons player. The Malians heal up those Knights, and there was actually nothing gained from this at all. As at least the Knight on defense goes down. Interesting outpost, actually. I didn't see when that went down. But even some vision there in for Phantom. And you see those Knights coming out, you have only fletching on those archers. Actually, maybe I was mistaking it. No, well, that just came in. So you only have fletching now on those archers. The men-at-arms here for the Britons are quite curious. It is the upgrade for those 2 militia that were attacking the houses earlier. But now as the archers get cleaned up, I think this one is going to be snowballing out of control very soon, guys. Oh, at least maybe try to garrison those archers into the tower, but doesn't quite get there in time. Well, that is going to suck for the Britons. Is that Knight at least going to die? It doesn't appear so. Man, you hate to see it there. Really a brutal game from start to finish. And Phantom taking it very slow here. I mean, methodical about it, I get it. Even the castle now very defensive. I guess just some stone walls would probably be wise. Stone wall across half the map and then just roll the opponent with whatever unit you really want, because you know the Britons still stuck in feudal age. Very small corner of the map here. No fishing economy. You kind of got him right where you want him. So it's gonna be difficult. Hey to everybody in chat here, Beige, good to see you. Brutal army even here. Nice to catch you as well. We're looking at a round 1 series here. Oh, sorry, it's a round 2 series. My bad, actually. It says round 1 up here at the top. But of course, round 2 between HuakNatria and Phantom. This is game 1. It looks like a very one-sided affair so far. Second seed looking good here in HuakNatria. The really rough start here for the Britons. Just has kind of snowballed that deficit. And it's going to be difficult coming back into this. But you still gotta believe, man. It's only the first game of the series, and all that means is that you're going to have to win both your and the enemy's home map if you end up giving away this game, which in all likelihood that is going to happen. As we see at least halfway up to Castle Age now is HuakNatria, and we know the cheap town centers for the Britons are a good thing at this point. Maybe another lumber camp could have been a good idea over here. Still, it looks like it's actually going to try and get a castle up soon. I wonder where that is going to go. Of course, ideally you want it on the opponent, and that's really where you need it if you want to make any relevant damage to come back into this, but you really don't have any army to accompany a castle, so if you don't manage to sneak it up in a place where the Malians don't have any vision, I don't think a castle would go up there. So yeah, I wonder what the idea is. Does look like it is going to be a castle drop, however, so where is that one gonna go? That's what we're wondering right now. Eco now at this point almost half as big for the Britons. Castle is defensive, doesn't really protect any resources though, so I'm not even a big fan of this spot, to be honest. Maybe on this hill here could have been a decent choice, but I'm not sure there's enough space for it there anyways. Yeah, at this point it's all just kind of being picky about stuff, because really there is no great play at this stage for the Britons, I don't think. And Malians actually still only going for cavalry is interesting. I guess they really want HuakNatria to commit onto pikemen before switching to infantry themselves, which is then that much more devastating. Initially, I just suspected that Malian longswordsmen in Castle Age would be way too difficult for the Britons to handle. The extra Pelias armor is just so terrifying there if you're a traditional archer civ. So, yeah. I like the creativity to go for knights. I'm just not sure it was 100% necessary in this instance. Slowly the push in the other direction begins. Knights are now beginning to raid, and there's no response there for HuakNatria. The lone in between pikemen here, I'm not sure, are going to be enough. Some monks would definitely be needed in order to kind of hold here, but you see already a bunch of villages going down. Ooh, 20 kills on those knights, including the archers from before, of course. At least that's enough pikemen to, for now, make Phantom retreat, which, well, I guess the boar can get some smoke too if he wants it. I'm not even sure, that might be a bit too reluctant here. Honestly, I think you definitely could have taken that fight against 4 enemy pikemen with really minimal upgrades. Very well upgraded knights here. I think you should have definitely just taken that and rolled with it. Could have cleaned up the entire enemy woodline there. Either way, looking for another place to raid now, I suspect. And has found one in the town center there down south. I'm not sure HuakNatria has realized this yet, as it's also getting pushed back at the front there, of course. We're just still going down here and no garrisoning actually coming out, so I honestly think HuakNatria has not realized this yet, and his town center investment here really going down the drain faster than he probably imagined. Gets more barracks up, I guess, really relying on pikemen for now, but man, yeah, finally calls it here. No shame here in losing like that, and of course you gotta try for a bit here. It's a tournament game, you don't want to just throw in the towel immediately, but yeah. You neglected docks and fishing ship at the start. That is correct in some sense. But, I mean, you really didn't have a lot of wood to work with either, right? I still, just as I said, right? I think you could have gotten the fishing ship production up a bit earlier. But you were always going to be quite a bit behind the Malians here. Just by the way the town centers ended up working out, where you got yours up way late. And the Malians saved wood on every building they put up, so... yeah, I don't think it's a shame to really lose here. And you gave it your best shot, but there's still a game 2 here, so let's see how this series continues. If we take a look at the draft, it looks like we're going to get a Golden Swamp game, are we? Man, that's great news as always. We love that map on here. And there we go, yeah, it says Golden Swamp right there. So let's jump right into that, shall we? Always an entertaining map to watch and play, as far as I'm concerned. Now let's hop in there and see how the series develops. Game 2, back against the wall for HuakNatria, playing as the Ethiopians on Golden Swamp against Phantom's Italians. Some decently common civs here in these tournament games so far, although we haven't really seen a lot of Ethiopians. And Italians, I think, have been picked quite a lot because they don't really have terrible maps in the map pool, I don't think. Like, you're pretty much fine playing them on any map in the tournament. At least that's what people have told me, because I'm definitely not an Italian player. So, yeah, let's see how Phantom makes them work here. They are just solid, though. Whether it's Arabia or any of those water/hybrid maps, I think you're good to go with those. So, on the left side, it's the Ethiopians for HuakNatria, who really needs a victory here to stay alive in the tournament. Ethiopians are well known for the faster firing archers, but also getting those extra resources when advancing to the next age is a bonus that I love when, like, really on any civilization, because, as I always say, you can get really creative with some builds there. Always good for fast castling. As you can see there, you can fast castle with Ethiopians without collecting any gold, for example. So that's just one way of making that bonus work if you want to. But yeah, that's so there's other applications as well, of course. For their unique tags, they're always a bit obscure to me, rather situational, nothing stands out there, but the big thing that I love about them since the last patch is of course the outposts being buffed, and no stone cost there really makes it so tempting to start dropping those outposts early. Doesn't detract from your boom, of course, with the town centers that you can still put up after that, so really cool to see bonus like that really can alter your gameplay and provide so much more vision than any other civ really has at that point in time, minus maybe the Byzantines, but you get what I'm saying. So Brutal Army actually saying in chat that Italians serviceable on every map, but not amazing, I guess, when there's no water. And yeah, I guess that is the general sense that I've gotten from them as well. So let's see what they really offer. They offer a lot. The cheaper advance times, another one of these things that allows you to hit some good timings that other civs don't. And the good thing about it is, if you compare it to the, let's say, the Magyars, who also get some interesting scout rush timings, or the Mongols, I think with the Italians you're a lot more flexible, because you can decide if you want to get if you want to hit a very early feudal age or a very early castle age timing, whether you want to go for scouts or for archers. I think you're pretty flexible there. Just got to commit to a plan, and the most obvious one, or the most meta one, doesn't even necessarily always have to be the most effective one. So I like flexible bonuses like that. Cheaper fishing ships, I mean, speaks for itself pretty much. And in terms of unique units also, as far as I'm concerned, those are more conditional ones. So yeah, let's check out how the game actually ends up going. We have an extra villager right now for the Italians. I don't see anybody having died to boars, so I assume that must have been Loom potentially being picked up by HuakNatria. The idle TC times are quite comparable actually, but no Loom. Oh yeah, there we see Loom having been picked up, I think. Oh no, it only now has been queued up. So I really wonder, where is that villager gap? And it's of course the fishing ships. As always, I miss it. As always, the villager gap, down to of course Phantom going on the fish earlier, just like he did last game. Let's see if that is going to be a problem this time around as well. Oh man. Yeah, now we have the, just as I said it, of course, just as I said, no villagers dying to boars. We saw it right there, as you rightly pointed out in chat. That is a bit of that village elite now being given back up. And actually, it looks like HuakNatria wasn't paying a lot of attention to the scout, and is now taking quite the bad trade here. At least was able to get up to feudal age quicker, so is maybe looking to put some early feudal aggression on. Still no dock though, so I wonder how that's going to be playing out. Actually going for a forward barracks here, very creatively, and hitting that feudal age fast is also going to allow him to get the scout out of harm's way. So I guess at least that is good news. A bit of a minute, a bit more than a minute actually, is the difference between the age up times here. So that is a quite decent time window there for Ethiopians to try and exploit. This is not the right time to turn around and fight though, right before hitting feudal age. And okay, this trade really starting to look a bit rough there. At least now gets saved by the extra movement speed here. And Italians looking like they are going for a rather fast castle. I'm not sure they're going to full commit for the, you know, the super fast castle, but we'll see. Bit of an unlucky timing here with the sheep, apparently. The water buffalo's not ideally positioned there. Yeah, main thing I want to point out though is Italians still on water while the Ethiopians aren't. And no walls or military yet for Phantom at the front. So might be a bit difficult to defend, but is now actually able to spot the enemy forward. So that's good news for them. Actually knows that something is up now, and let's see what the response is here. Do we see immediate walls? Do we see some military, or does he just still continue to go for that fast castle? Does put up those barracks now, so it's not going to be the regular cutting all corners as fast as possible. Castle Age instead actually going for some galleys. That is something that I haven't really seen galleys do a lot on these maps here, especially in these low elo games. I think just using a few fire ships to win the water battle is oftentimes good enough, since you don't want to be putting out that many fishing ships anyways. So maybe, yeah, not the biggest fan here of the galley opening. Can help against the land units as well, of course, though, so it's not like the galleys are only water units, whereas the fire ships struggle a lot more against land units, so I guess maybe there's a rationale that kinda makes sense here, but looks like that galley is not going to be around for very long here, as he takes a bit of a bad trade against the spearmen here, so okay, HuakNatria at least able to do some damage here. Still though, not being on water at all for them is costing them a lot in the eco department. Yeah, the people in chat suggesting HuakNatria should learn a water build. Man, I say no. I call BS on that. You don't need to play water if you want to play AOE2 here. I'm also a big water denier myself. And I was still able to at least win a round, just as HuakNatria was, so... You do you, man. Yeah, as I did. But of course, that is absolutely correct. In this map pool, having water maps as an option is very beneficial. Down south, still chasing those fishing ships with the spearmen, and they do pretty big damage to those. But yeah, you really need to find some additional villager damage with those archers as well, I think. If you want to make this full feudal aggression build worthwhile. And you're really ages away from Castle Age at this point, whereas the opponent, of course, had to kind of, I guess, adapt their plan of going FC, but still is likely going to get there quite a lot faster. So, yeah, I don't think the eco damage that was done so far is enough, quite frankly. 3 eco kills for HuakNatria. You're gonna need a bit more, and just only adding more archers is not going to make your trades against these skirmishers more efficient. At least the villagers come forward now to try and provide a bit of a front line, but you know, I don't like this tower either. It doesn't really deny a whole lot. It might not even go up if the opponent full-on commits for the push with the skirmishers. So we're looking at a bit of a rough situation here. No blacksmith upgrade so far for the Ethiopians. That is a big minus as well. Italians working with both fletching and the padding. So honestly, these trades are really rough to look at here for them, and they can't commit forward with their archers at all. Militia now trying to get the job done against the skirmishers, but really nice kiting by Phantom and minimal investment into defense. This is kind of like the dream right now, although the eco balance again isn't maybe the greatest. Market goes up, the 1,000 wood there in the bank might have been better spent elsewhere, but of course being pushed off some parts of your eco maybe makes it so you're running into a bit of an imbalance. Overall though, not sure we really need 17, 18 woodcutters at this stage of the game. And I agree again here with Brutal Army in chat. You need you need more pressure and earlier if you want to not make any docks here on this map. This is not even the most water-reliant map, right? There's like 2,000 food or maybe 2,500 food overall in these lakes. But just having a few fishing ships early on is so massive, because early is where you feel that fish income the most. When those fish are still close to your dock, so the gathering rate is very efficient. When you're actually able to, yeah, get up to feudal age or to Castle Age, then just a little bit better and quicker by virtue of collecting an extra 200, 300, 400 food. Doesn't even have to be a ton, but it still is just such an impact that allows you to get up 2 or 3 villages faster. It really adds up throughout the game, so I agree. If you want to not make any docks, you need to be doing a lot more damage than this so far, but at least HuakNatria is kind of committing here, trying to find ways into the enemy eco with the archers. He knows that he's kind of forced to make stuff happen, but doesn't really have the angles right now, because the skirmisher investment by Phantom was very disciplined. Oftentimes, especially here in those lower elo brackets, we have seen people try to cut corners even after being pressured, not respecting the enemy push and not making the required counter units. That cannot be said about Phantom though. He really are playing very disciplined here. And I think, again, just getting with minimal investment, maximum value out of his defenses. So I like to see that. Also on the way to Castle Age now, as we had anticipated. Eco upgrades coming in as well. I think they're sitting really pretty as they are right now. Very interesting attempt of a dock location here. Might have been, I don't know. I agree with going for a dock at some point here if you're Ethiopians, but maybe not in this very location if you have a free choice. And yeah, let's see just quickly how it looks at home. Yeah, lots of farms here required to get up to fuel age, and none of these are horse collar farms, by the way. So the eco, yeah, really a lot rougher there in the south than it is here in the north. It is a rough game state once again, and those archers. He does a good job of moving them around and stuff, but always these couple of free hits come in for the skirmishers. And now, just as I say this, of course, he forgets moving them for a while, and another bad trade there for the Ethiopians. I like the game plan, right? Screw the water, let's just go into big fuel aggression, get some archers out, but all the attempted attacks here have really gone completely backwards for them. And that's tower down even, man. Lots of investments here that are just being destroyed by Phantom, who's reacting very well to all the attempts that the opponent makes at pushing him. And now even with the knights, this forward is going to get completely eaten up here by the Italians. Great spot to be in, Castle Age. Lots of wood and stone, can drop town centers as soon as those units have been cleaned up. And again, HuakNatria finds themselves in a rough spot, at least this time around. Not behind all that much in terms of eco. Idle TC times have been comparable, and the eco kills that they got, at least that's something, right? But just the way to Castle Age seems so long at this point. That's kind of the main thing I'm worried about if I'm Ethiopians. Also completely open at home, so should the Italians send any knights forward, the defense there would be very rocky. Let's see if Phantom actually tries to go in for any raids. Still kind of getting a few more knights in, I guess, before actually sending forward. Triple TC now has been started. Needs quite a few more farms, though, to make that work. In the kind of midterm, that's going to yield huge benefit, though. Again, kind of very comparable to last game, where you've got Phantom way early up to Castle Age, gets the 3 town centers, needs a bit to get the farms up, so maybe that could be improved in their builds, is having the farms ready when you got those town centers, so you can immediately start 3 TC production. But actually this time around the idle time isn't even there, really. Just barely was able to get the villagers out. Maybe bought some food as well, we might have missed that, but props wasn't actually as difficult as I imagined it being. And in go the knights here, although they take some poor trades to start off with. Just that one armor upgrade for now, and looking to get one villager pick here at least, which doesn't end up coming through in the end. But good amount of scouting here now for the Italians. So HuakNatria sees, or rather Phantom sees, where the Ethiopians are open, where their eco is situated, and that's gonna be prime targets here for raids as more knights are being queued up by Phantom, whose eco is looking really good now. Lots of farms here, not floating a load of res, and the villager production is going up and up here. Already 10 in advantage, and still no response for those skirmishes here on the side of HuakNatria, and he recognizes this. Sees, man, that early game just didn't go my way at all, and a rather quick series here. 2 games that really never were in doubt for Phantom, who as the higher seed makes kind of quick work of this series. HuakNatria, who looked really good in that first series against the higher seeded opponent, kind of met his match here and was a bit outmatched after all, it seemed. Struggled a bit with those water builds early in both games, and especially in this one, where the game was a bit closer, but I think an earlier dock could have gone a long way. And Phantom convincingly moves on 2-0 here. Nicely done. Can't complain about that. Congrats on getting to that next round, which will be the semifinals already. So, yeah, hopefully gonna find some success there. And Brutal Army commenting there that Phantom forward siege could be really good, and I agree there. If Phantom had started the push now and actually gone for a siege workshop forward, I think that would have been the most devastating and fast-paced push that they could have gone for, especially knowing that the opponent really doesn't have anything besides maybe some archers and spearmen. So you're right, that could have been good. Either way, HuakNatria kind of throwing in the towel, realizing the situation had gotten out of hand. So that's where the series ends. For us now, I'll end the stream here and get some dinner. I'm expecting to start casting another series in half an hour or so, though. I'll just need to get some food here before I can get back going, but I'm definitely going to do another 1 or 2 series today. We'll see. Maybe there's even going to be some live series being played tonight. I'm not sure. Maybe I can check the schedules there. Either way, I'll again post in Discord when I cast the next series, but I really have grown hungry here, so I'll make sure to get some food first. See you guys later, though, and thanks for stopping by. It always was another lovely chat today. So always glad to have new guys watching the cast as well. Take care, everyone. Until later.